Hey, hey, what's up, everyone? Hey, Circle Black, long time no see. How are you? Hey, Sarah. Hey, Ellie. Hey, K-Braze. Hey, one second. I'm just gonna tweet this real quick. How's everyone today? I'm getting a little sick, so if I sound a little scratchy, that's why. But I really wanted to do this case because it is one of my first big YouTube cases that hey Joneson I ever followed. And hey No Bed of Roses, hey Abra. And I was so invested in this case. Like it was definitely in like the top like early 5 cases that I followed on YouTube. Yeah, it hurts my soul too, Ellie. Oh, I love diamond paintings. I got my lizard one right here. Did I inspire you to get one? It's okay. My roof is messed up from. Oh man, did you guys see the snow in Northern California? There's like 8-foot walls of snow there. It is wild. Yeah, I can't either, Sarah. This case, it's been far too long. I'm so glad it's going to trial. Sorry, I'm pulling my Red Bull. Y'all know that I love my Red Bull, and I need something to drink because my throat is dry, and everyone in my house is sick. Everybody, but I'm telling you, it's like women I feel like have this like superpower when you have kids that like your body like holds off from getting sick until the weekend. Oh, you got one? You got one, Brandon man? But like your body holds off until the weekend until you don't have responsibilities, and then the weekend comes and it just goes to hell then. You have hundreds. Oh, I don't have that many, but I do like. Thank you. Trout. Oh, trying to come up with 1K for a deductible. Oh, on your roof. That sucks. Can you do like financing? We do roofing. You have accumulated over the years. I have a couple. I did a T-Rex one, which is on the wall. So the room that I moved to, it's like a storage room for my kids' toys, and like to the left of me, there's a giant T-Rex sticker on the wall. Like I'm not going to show you guys right now because this room is a mess because everything's just like piled in the closet and it's right next to the closet. But there is literally a giant T-Rex on the wall. We're lizard and dinosaur people here. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, they are addictive. Did I show you guys my lizard one? Hold on. Let me show you it. It is so damn cute. It came out so good too. Like you can send a picture in, like your own picture, right? And then they'll turn it into a diamond painting, which I just think is the coolest thing ever. So I plan to do all of my pets at some point. But look how cute that is! Isn't that adorable? I love it. I just don't know where to put it yet, but I'm gonna frame it. I don't know if I'll be able to. Should I put it back here in a frame? I don't know. Yeah, right, Joneson. There's literally is a giant T-Rex sticker that takes up like the entire wall. I should have put that behind me because it'd be pretty funny. But it's huge. The T-Rex is huge. It did turn out good, Abra, didn't it? I love it. Oh my gosh, my throat. It's like the sickness is just hitting me. I feel it. But anyway, so what kind of I'm excited about this trial. It's starting March 20th. Hopefully nothing goes wrong because we know with Leticia, there's always some kind of, thing she has to get done, some exam or some whatever test. So March 20th, 10 days. And I frame holiday ones and put them in the house. Oh, that's cool. That's smart. I gotta try that. Do some holiday ones. I'm definitely going to do every pet and probably one of like my kid, like a family one. So yeah, this is one of my first cases, and it's one that I definitely got like super attached to. I even have a sticker on my car for Gannon. So and I got like a little bracelet too. I just don't know where it is, but I was they were raising money, and I bought a sticker for them to raise money, and I put it on my car, and it's still there. And so definitely, you haven't kept up with the true crime stuff. Well, I've been like falling off too. I just started nannying for my cousin's baby, and she's just adorable. So I've been busy every day during the day, and then sometimes I'm just like so tired. I haven't been going live as much, but I'm going to start going live as much. I promise. I just gotta. As soon as this weather starts breaking, I'm gonna be lit. All right. The winter makes me lazy. It's almost time. It's almost time. All right. Well, I'm gonna play like a little video. First, I don't know how much they go into it, but it was right when the stepmom. Okay, so yeah, I know it just started, so I'm not in my routine yet. Just don't do it twice a day and we're good. Oh no, I promise I won't put y'all to work that much. So, all right. So to give a little rundown before I play this video, hold on. Gannon was, I forget how he was like. Let me see how old he was. Sorry. Oh no, my mom's texting me, which means she'll be on all night. I forget how old he was. I think he was like 7 or 8 at the time. Let me see. Oh, he was 11. Okay, wow. I thought he was a lot younger than that. Sure, I'm down. Circle box. I'm totally down. So, he was an 11-year-old. He loved the color blue. He loved Sonic the Hedgehog. He loved his Switch. He was adorable, and he was they were living in Colorado. His dad was in, I think it was the army. He was in the military, and he would be away a lot. And his stepmother was basically taking care of him and his sister on a regular basis. Now, Leticia also had a 17-year-old daughter who lived with them as well. Her name was Harley. She's actually seemed like the sweetest girl ever. I actually feel terribly bad for her because that girl just seems like the nicest, sweetest girl, and she's beautiful too. And then Gannon's mom lived in North Carolina where they used to live. The dad had to move out to Colorado because of the military. So his mom, she lived in North Carolina, and she had given Gannon and his sister to the dad because she had I think it was like a difficult pregnancy, and she was in the hospital for a while, and she wasn't able to take care of them. So that's why they were basically being taken care of by the stepmother, Leticia, for a very long time. And it's like, I think they were married for a couple of years. So she was like the sole, parent for the most part. Oh, I think I messed up my makeup. Anyway, the dad had, hey, Amory, the dad had left to go to some military thing, like training or something, and left her alone with them. And there was some incident the night before he went missing, where a candle had fallen over and the carpet had burned, and she had filmed this video filmed her yelling at him for knocking over the candle and saying that they would need to sell like sell the furniture or something to fix it. Anyway, the next day she keeps him home from school. Creators. And she keeps him home from school and she leaves, and on the video camera you can see him, I believe, get into the car, but you never see him get out. She makes some weird stops and she's gone for a couple hours. She goes to PetSmart twice. She goes to a couple different places, and then they come home, and the neighbor has a video, handed in like a video of them coming home, and you don't see him getting out of the truck coming home, but the police do believe that he did get out, and that he was killed shortly after that in his bed. There was blood had dripped down from the mattress into the floor. It was so much blood that it had, gone, like through the carpet all the way down to the floor. Then there was, like, I guess, like a trail of blood that went from like their utility room to all the way upstairs to her car, and there was some blood on the trunk of her car. His Nintendo Switch was never found. Some people think that his Nintendo Switch could have been like she used it to hit him, like maybe they got in an argument over the Nintendo because he wanted to play the Nintendo and he wasn't allowed. She also had like a piece of particle board, which I believe she may have like moved him on, which she had thrown to the side of the road. Then she rented a car. She made all these weird stops over the next couple days. And then she actually called what do you call that? Oh my gosh, why am I? A lie detector test, a fake lie detector test company. And they tell you, okay, we'll send your questions in. And one of her questions was like, did you kill your stepson? And they immediately contacted police because obviously they're not going to do a fake lie detector test for somebody that could have killed somebody, And then she left the home and went with her family in moving vehicles, like a, moving van and a rent-a-car. Yeah, the fake polygraph. She took the rent-a-car to back to North Carolina, but on their way there, she stopped in Florida, which they believe is where, like, they found his body in a suitcase in Florida off of a bridge, which they believe she, stopped there to dispose of his body. And there was literally an interview that she did where they were packing the cars to leave. And at this point, like, he very well could have been like in a suitcase in her trunk. It was horrifying. And she came up with all these lies. She said that there was some guy who was a construction worker working not far away, and she asked him to do their carpet, and that she gave him the lock code, and that he had come into the house and he was waiting on them to get home, and then he tried to R her, and Gannon tried to help her, and she was knocked out and doesn't remember what happened. I can't remember. Does anyone remember the guy's name? Because it's like, I forget the guy's name. It's in the affidavit, which I'll read. But yeah, she had like 80 different stories. It was a mess, and she just couldn't stop talking. Yeah, she said he ran away too on his bike. Yeah, it was a Eduardo. It was Eduardo. That was the name. Eduardo. So yeah, she made up all these lies. Yeah, she said he ran away. First they thought he ran away, and then when things started coming in on her, then she came up with the Eduardo story. And I will tell you all about it. Okay, Grace. Okay, so the video I'm gonna play now is his mother talking, and I guess this is right after she was arrested. See that picture on her shirt? That's the sticker I have on my car, but it's like in a shiny, glittery blue. That's his dad back there. Which I don't know. People aren't going to agree with me in this, but I don't really care for the dad because I feel like he should have never just, left it up to a stepmom to take care of his kids all the time. I do believe he was cheating on her at the time. That's what supposedly was going around, that he met with this girl. So he was literally like, he left a day early to go meet with some girl. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. And there's been all kinds of stuff. I don't particularly. Yeah, she sent Harley, her daughter Harley, to the Dollar General to pick up cleaning supplies. Like $70 worth of cleaning supplies, and the poor girl had no idea. All the information is in the arrest affidavit, which is kind of long, so I'm going to try and go through it pretty fast, but I have the affidavit, so I can lay it all out for you, but I'm going to play this real quick.
The worst news and the best news.
Hold on a minute. Let me just make sure I hit the sound button. Sometimes I'd be doing that. Okay. Here you go.
Today, I got the worst news and the best news. Obviously, we know what the worst news is, but the best news is that justice will be served.
It is some news for a family waiting for 5 weeks. Investigators no longer believe 11-year-old Gannon Stauch is alive. His stepmother is now accused of killing him. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office says Leticia Stauch was arrested in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina this morning. This all began 35 days ago in late January when she told investigators she last saw Gannon leaving his home in Colorado Springs to go to a friend's house. The same day, a neighbor captured surveillance video showing Gannon getting into a truck. No one has seen Gannon since that day, and his body still hasn't been found. Here's 9 News reporter Jordan Chavez.
I cannot stress enough what a difficult time this has been for Gannon's family.
It's what they feared for 5 weeks. The announcement that Gannon Stauch is believed to be dead.
This person, the stepmom that I even trusted, that she will pay 100% for this heinous thing she done.
Leticia Stauch was arrested on 4 charges, including first-degree murder and tampering with a body, which has many questioning how, if investigators still haven't recovered one.
It's difficult for prosecutors to convince a jury to convict on first-degree murder charges without a body, but it absolutely can be done, as the recent Patrick Frazee verdict proves.
9 News legal analyst Scott Robinson says no body means a higher burden for prosecutors, but the critical threshold is showing probable cause.
But that means a lot more than mere suspicion. You got to have more than just a surveillance video showing the young man getting into his stepmother's vehicle and not coming back.
Robinson says the fact that there are charges shows it's likely investigators have certain evidence they've yet to reveal, but it also means Gannon's family is forced to face the news.
Hey, MK.
My little boy is not coming home. We will never play Nintendo again. No more Taco Tuesdays. No more smooth-looking haircuts. No more Big Bubba for my Lena, and no more G-Man for the world.
Jordan Chavez, 9 News.
Neighbors of the family say that this arrest gives them some sense of relief, although they will not forget Gannon. The neighbors have become quite close since he disappeared. Many have put up blue lights and ribbons as a sign of solidarity. One neighbor, Roderick Drayton, says they are all hurting.
It breaks my heart. You know, you taking somebody's child's life, and just taking a child's life, period, is heartbreaking. But knowing that it's next door, and it's just, I don't know, I don't know the words for it.
Drayton says it was his home camera that captured that video that showed Gannon getting into a truck the last day he was seen. He says the neighbors just hope his body.
Hi, MK again.
Right now, an update on the murder investigation in the death of 11-year-old Gannon Stauch. We have this new video out of Florida just
I'll
into
play
our
this one
newsroom.
too.
The El Paso County Sheriff's Office here in Colorado says remains believed to be those of Gannon have been found in Pace near Pensacola, Florida. He was reported missing in Colorado Springs back in January. Police arrested his stepmother, Leticia Stauch, earlier this month. This afternoon, prosecutors tacked on new charges, alleging the use of a firearm, knife, or sharp object in the murder. The El Paso County Sheriff is asking anyone who might have seen Leticia in Pace or Pensacola between February 3rd and the 5th to give them a call.
And it was so terrible. This poor kid was like, I'm still kind of confused about this, but from how I took it, he was hit over the head, stabbed, and shot. Like everything you could think of. It was horrible. Hold on one second. It was so horrible what she did to him. She's just like, I'm a stepmother and I take it very seriously. You know what I mean? Like, my hubby's children are my children, and I just can't ever imagine having so much like hatred toward a child to do that, and it's just horrible. Me too, Cosmic Kitty. Me too. This case like kept me up at night, and it was so obvious that it was her because she wouldn't shut up. She just kept posting all these crazy stories and all this crazy stuff. Like, she was terrible. All right, let me get the affidavit out and we'll go through it. I think, oh wait, I already clicked on it. You guys want me to share the screen so you guys can see it too? I can. But I'm just so happy that this is finally going to trial. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Okay. Filing affidavit submitted to the court. All right, hold on. We're just going to skip some stuff. The police officer writing this is Jessica Bethel. She's just giving her like her, what's it called? Her resume. Your affiant submits. What is this? Why is this here? Submits the following facts to demonstrate probable cause to believe that on or about January 27th, 2020, in the county of El Paso in the state of Colorado, the defendant Leticia Stauch, also known as Leticia Hardin, which was her maiden name. She had like several names actually. She was married before. Hey, Mark W. I lost where I was. Hold on. Okay. Did commit the following offenses: murder in the first degree, child under 12, position of trust, child abuse resulting in death, tampering with a deceased human body, tampering with physical evidence. The affidavit is submitted to support this issuance for the arrest warrant of the violations. The facts in this affidavit come from my personal observations, my training experience. Oh my gosh, this thing keeps bothering me. How do I get rid of that? Contacts of the affidavit were derived by reading reports, viewing evidence as provided to me. Much of the affidavit was prepared by FBI Special Agent Cohen. I have reviewed the facts and carefully, and I have no reason to doubt the investigators' accuracy. Investigators have executed physical search warrants and collected evidence from vehicles associated with Leticia, cellular devices utilized by Leticia, and from the residence of Leticia. Electronic search warrants have been executed but not limited to Facebook, Apple, Google, AT&T, Verizon, ADT Security System, Tile, Life360, Yahoo, Ring doorbell service. And some of the physical evidence has been DNA profiles. They have recovered a significant amount of exterior video footage privately owned security cameras in the neighborhood, businesses around Colorado Springs, Colorado, and cameras in the surrounding area. Historical cellular records and historical cell site details were analyzed, and for some reason that's all blanked out. I don't know why. Information contained. I love Fashion Nova, but get it out of here. Information contained in this affidavit can be found in EPSO Case Report 201382. Facts in support of probable cause, the Stauch family, and general information. The Stauch family is a blended family and will be discussed at various points below. This representation purposely has little details in order to give an overview of the family structure. Father is Eugene Al Stauch. Stepmother Leticia. Daughter Harley Hunt, who is a minor. She's 17 years of age. She's Leticia's daughter from a previous marriage. Son Gannon Stauch. It's Al's son, not Leticia's son. And then daughter Lena Stauch, which is also Al's son and not Leticia's son. What is Gannon's mom's name? I can't remember her name for some reason. Doesn't it begin with an L? The following vehicles will be discussed at various points below. A red Nissan Frontier is Mr. Stauch's main vehicle. The black Volkswagen Tiguan, which is Leticia's main vehicle. A white Volkswagen Jetta, which is Harley's vehicle. A silver Nissan Altima. It was a car rented by Leticia's aunt, Brenda, and utilized by Leticia from January 30th to February 1st, after her Tiguan was seized by EPSO on January 29th. A white Kia Rio is the rental car she basically rented before they seized her car, which I believe she moved Gannon's body in. Landon, that's right. Yep, you're right. Thank you, A. Marie. It is Landon. I knew it began with an L. I just couldn't think of what it is. Hey, Diane. Background of those mentioned in the affidavit. Leticia Hardin is the last person known to investigators to see 11-year-old Gannon Stauch alive. Leticia is Gannon's stepmother and was Gannon's only adult supervision in the days preceding and on the day of his murder. At the time of Gannon's murder, Leticia was employed by School District 20 as an assistant teacher, although I have also learned that she is no longer employed there. So she worked there for like a week or something. It was like, it was some ridiculous, like she literally worked there for like a week, and I don't even think they had done her background check yet. So it was like super, super early. Hey, Nina. New trial. Guess what, Nina? I know you were saying that you feel hopeless without a trial right now. Well, we have coming all at the end of March, Warren and Orson, Stauch, Vallow, Sarah Boone. What am I missing? Delphi, and then after that will be Idaho. So we've got huge cases all coming at the end of March. All at the end of March. All right, sorry. I was able to locate prior criminal history for Leticia and learned that North Carolina Robeson County court case. Leticia was convicted after a trial for communicating threats, a misdemeanor, but I was not able to locate her sentencing information. Leticia was also convicted of unauthorized use of a motor vehicle in Robeson County court case and was sentenced to 45 days confinement and 18 months of probation. B, although not criminal in nature, I was able to locate a document memorializing the suspension of Leticia's North Carolina teaching certificate on or about May 11, 2016. As part of the document, it is reported that Leticia had filed unsubstantiated claims of harassment and retaliation, and the North Carolina State Board found that Ms. Stauch breached her contract by engaging in unprofessional conduct, willfully neglecting her duty, and failing to comply with provisions of her contract. I believe I am too. I am really mad it won't be streamed as well. Yeah, same here, Nina. I even have a sticker of Gannon on my car. Like, that's how much this case had got to me. And I'm sure it is, close to your heart because of, your family situation is similar. But, where was I saying? I think something happened where she was working at a school and she accused some guy of like harassing her, and she made like a bomb threat so she didn't have to go into work. It was a really like weird story that she like concocted, and I don't believe it was even true. I don't remember the whole story, but I know it was like a wild story that made her lose her license. Leticia's criminal history is only included by way of background for the court. Because Leticia has been convicted of previous crimes, it's not meant to indicate guilt of violations or to be considered as the sole basis of probable cause. Al Stauch is Gannon's bio father and is married to Leticia. He was deployed with the National Guard during the days of January 25th and January 28th, 2020. Mr. Stauch spent the night in Denver on January 25th and departed via commercial airline on January 26th, returning via commercial airline on the 28th. Investigators were able to corroborate this information, and Mr. Stauch has cooperated fully in the below investigation. Oh yeah, Ellie. It was a crazy story. It was when she lived in North Carolina. She did some like wild stuff. I forget how it all went down, but she accused some guy of like harassing her and said all this stuff about him. It's been a long time since I looked into it, but I'll have to see if I can find it. All right, of note, in some portions of this affidavit, depending on events being discussed, the investigation may be referred to as a missing person investigation or a murder investigation for the purposes of the affidavit. They're indeed one and the same. Subsequent information surrounds the period of January 27th to Wednesday, January 29th. Investigators have taken independent steps to corroborate information received through the investigation. I'm going to skip some of this. Hold on. All right, here we go. On January 27th, at or about 1855 hours, Leticia reported Gannon missing after calling 911. During that call, she was instructed to call El Paso County non-emergent line. In summary, Leticia stated that Gannon was supposed to be home at approximately 1 hour ago. She was unable to locate him at his friend's house. Her story dramatically changed multiple times over the following days. As will be discussed, investigators do not believe Leticia went to any neighboring houses to attempt to locate Gannon, and was one of the many lies told by Leticia during the investigation. She was unable to provide the actual location of the homes she went to, the names of Gannon's friends he was supposed to be playing with, or the names of the parents of Gannon's friend. Yeah, the harassing guy. Yep. What's up, Packless? Yeah, this case was like so close to my heart. I don't know why. I guess because I have a boy too, and I don't know what it was, but and I'm a stepmom too, so just really like it really got to me just that anyone could do that to a kid, and it's just a heartbreaking story, and it's taken so long for this day to come, and I'm so glad that we're finally here, you know. Deputies responded to Leticia's address at 6727 Mandan Drive and were unable to locate Gannon. They conducted a limited search of the residence and took a report from Leticia. Some of the interactions between the responding deputies and Leticia were captured on body-worn camera. A missing person investigation was initiated and in the coming days developed into a murder investigation. Now here's the crazy part. When they did a search of this house, if they had just looked in the trunk of her car, his body was in there. When they came, his body was literally in the trunk of her Tiguan. And the guy, I think, like peeked in, but like didn't look. And had they searched her car right then, it like they would have found him, and that would have been it, you know. And it wouldn't have been months and months of this, but he was literally in her car at the time. A tip line was established, and investigators received hundreds of tips and leads from the public by virtue of emails and telephone calls. As a part of tip line, 2 ransom notes were received by email demanding money in the form of Bitcoin in exchange for Gannon's return. Investigators took steps to validate these ransom notes, including resolving and geolocating the internet protocol addresses from the email headers requesting a subscriber information from the internet service providers that hosted these IP addresses. One of these ransom notes was sent from a foreign-based email account that is accessible by multiple individuals. Investigators were unable to trace the user of the IP addresses and believe that the ransom notes to be fraudulent and strictly designed as a scheme to receive money. Leticia initially claimed that she saw Gannon on January 27th when he left their residence to play with his friends somewhere around 15 hours, based on the facts outlined below. And he was supposed to be sick that day, so that doesn't even make sense. Like, most kids don't let their kid go out and play with the other kids when they stayed home sick from school. You know what I mean? So, where was I? Yep, right, Sarah. Yep, I'm the same way, and like it just bothered me that she could do this. All right, so she claims she lists at 15 hours based on the facts outlined below. Leticia's statement to an episode dispatcher: Leticia is the last person that ever saw Gannon alive. She stated she attempted to find him at a neighbor's house and sent her daughter Harley to look for Gannon at a park. Leticia lied to investigators on multiple occasions, has unexplained abnormal behavior, such as car, disconnecting her cell phone from the cellular network for an extended period of time, the false reporting on an alleged RAPE, abnormal patterns of travel, a continuously evolving story with material changes in facts and circumstances, and has since left the state of Colorado. These actions, when combined with other facts in this affidavit, support the totality of probable cause for the requested warrant and will be discussed below. The murder of Gannon Stauch. The following section will outline what investigators have learned about Leticia's activity on January 27th, the outline period when Gannon was likely murdered. Some of the information obtained in the section will be repeated in portions of the affidavit. So they believe that Gannon was murdered by Leticia in the afternoon hours at approximately 14 hours of January 27th, so an hour before she called the police, at his residence, and more specifically in his bedroom. Physical evidence recovered from the residence and inside Gannon's bedroom support that a violent event occurred in his bedroom, which caused bloodshed, including blood spatter on the walls, enough blood loss to stain his mattress, soak through the carpet pad, and stain the concrete below his bed. So it was brutal. And now we know he was stabbed, he was hit, and I believe he was shot. I mean, that's what it sounded like she did. I don't know why she would go to those extents. I don't know if she was trying to make it look like somebody else did it, or if she was that angry that it's just crazy to me. Some photographs of this evidence are included below. Based on evidence recovered from the residence, Gannon's remains were eventually brought through the house into the garage and likely loaded into the back of her Volkswagen Tiguan. After cleaning the murder scene, she utilized the Tiguan to transport and dump Gannon's remains on the evening of January 28th. Now, I believe, this is what I think personally, that she dumped his remains and then she went back and picked them up and drove them to Florida right before they left. After cleaning the murder scene, she utilized the Tiguan to transport and dump Gannon's remains on the evening of January 28th. She likely disposed of his remains off Highway 105 and South Perry Park Road in Douglas County, Colorado. Indeed, the Metro Crime Lab determined that blood discovered in Gannon's bedroom, the garage, and blood on the piece of particle board located off 105 South Perry Park Road all matched his DNA profile. On Monday, the 27th, Gannon stayed home from school. Based on text messages from Leticia to Mr. Stauch, Gannon was up most of Sunday evening with a stomach problem. Leticia did tell Gannon's school, Grand Mountain Elementary, that Gannon would be absent on Monday. Investigators were unable to verify that Gannon was marked as an excused absent that day. Leticia also told Al that I'm just going to give them an excuse at work and stay with him. Indeed, Leticia did come up with an excuse and told her employer via text message at or about 04:37 hours that her stepdad was killed after being hit by a car. and she would not be able to come to work that day, which is insane. Why would you tell, like, why would you make up a lie that your stepdad was killed in a car accident? Like, it doesn't need to be that serious. Hey, Melissa. Like, it's insane. Like, what? Why would, like, that's the crazy, just say you're sick. Like, why? She's definitely, like, a piece of work, for sure. Other electronic devices, such as time and date stamps, photographs, were recovered from her cell phone that indicate Gannon was likely still alive on the morning of January 7th, 2020. As displayed in the paragraph below, images were taken from Leticia's cell phone at 08:13 and 08:17 in the morning, showing Gannon sleeping in his bed. His Nintendo Switch, a small video game console, is visible in the photo lying next to him on the bed. Mr. Stauch has said that the gaming system was of high importance to Gannon. To date, investigators have been unable to locate the Switch. So a lot of people think she may have hit him with the Switch because they still haven't found it. It's just gone. And her phone was used the following day, on January 28th, at about 12:57 hours, to conduct a Google search. Can Nintendo find my Switch? This is detailed in a list of some of her search history in a paragraph 141, and reasonably occurred because she was contemplating how she would dispose of the Switch. I conducted a Google search for the term "Can Nintendo find my Switch?" and learned that the Switch does not come with any sort of tracking ability. As such, Leticia likely felt it was safe to dispose of the Switch and use the missing Switch to help deceive law enforcement into searching for Gannon as a possible runaway. And just to think, if they had searched her car that day, that they could have found him. Ultimately, investigators located video surveillance from a neighbor's surveillance camera that showed what investigators to believe Leticia and the individual appeared to match Gannon's physical description, depart their residence in the Nissan Frontier at or about 10:16 hours on January 27th. And here's another thing that I think is pretty weird. I've always wondered if she tried to, like, poison him or something the night before, because she sent this, like, weird text message to. All right, so let me just say, anyone who knows Leticia knows that she gives out all her information somehow when she doesn't shut up. She talks and talks and talks, and somehow she tells on herself through all her stuff that she says. Well, she sent a text message to his dad the night before talking about Gannon asking about bath salts and thinking that the bath salts were like the Dr. Teal's bath salts in their house or something like that. And I just thought, like, that it was just so weird that she brought that up. Like, it was just random, and the way that she said it. And I was wondering if maybe she had, like, tried to poison him or something, and it, like, hurt his stomach, and maybe he was not doing well the next day, and she panicked. I don't know, but that always bothered me, the text about the bath salts. I never understood it, and she was just one of those people who always gave everything away through what she said, so that always has been in the back of my mind. Like, could that have been something that we don't know about? But all right, so the video camera is several homes away and does not provide images clear enough to make positive identifications, but the vehicle returned at 14:19 hours and Leticia exited the video. After viewing the video, I cannot be sure if another person exited the video or not, but I submit Gannon likely did return home with Leticia that afternoon. These times corroborated by data collected from the ADT security system installed in the Stauch residence. Based on data returned from the Stauch's ADT security system, the motion detectors in the living room or basement did not register any activity from approximately 12:10 hours until Leticia and Gannon entered the home at approximately 14:22. Now, here's the crazy part. She tried to say this guy, Eduardo, had the code to the house and that he went in the house and waited for them, but the ADT security system would have picked Eduardo going into the home. It would have picked up on that, and it didn't. So we know that there was no Eduardo, and he was just some made-up guy. So investigators confirmed Lena to be at school and confirmed that Harley was at work. As such, investigators believe there was likely nobody else in the residence except Leticia and Gannon. His cell site information, detailed information about her iPhone status, and a text message sent to Harley from Gannon's cell phone support that Leticia left her cell phone at the Stauch residence the morning of January 27th, 2020. The fact that Leticia left her phone is suspicious on its own and based on her history of extensive use of the phone. This is another reason why I thought maybe something happened the night before, because he was still alive at this point and you left your phone home. And she drove around and seemed like she was trying to waste time because she went to PetSmart twice and all these like weird places. So it made me wonder, was she like waiting for him? Was he like really sick? Was she waiting for him to like, pass away, thinking she poisoned him and it just didn't happen? I don't know, but it was just weird to me that she left her phone at home and then went driving around with him while he was still alive and doing all that weird stuff. Yeah, she got busted for everything. Yep, the ADT neighbor. ADT was, everything was wrong. And they have the security cameras. They would have seen Eduardo going in the house, All right, so let's see. I'm gonna try and like skip some of this because she was active. We know she was an active user, or I'm gonna like read through it fast. So she was an active user of social media. She was on Facebook and stuff all the time. Her phone screen time log January 25th was 8 hours, and January 29th was 11 hours. She spent approximately 38,607 seconds on Facebook and Facebook Messenger alone, which equates to approximately 10.7 hours of cumulative time. Well, so she sent a text, no bed of roses. She sent a text to Al saying that Gannon was asking about bath salts and like something about the Dr. Teal's bath salts. So I was thinking maybe she had used the bath salts to like poison him or something. This is just totally guessing. I have no idea. But like she made a weird, she sent him a weird text about bath salts that never like sat quite well with me. And it makes me wonder if she could have used bath, like the actual Dr. Teal's bath salts to like poison him or something. Because she made it like, oh, Gannon was asking about them, and like, why would you say that? Maybe you were trying to make it look like Gannon accidentally ingested bath salts or something. I don't know. And then he had a stomach ache, so I just thought that was a little strange. Her telephone was locked at 9:56 hours on January 27th and unlocked at 14:45 hours on the same day. So basically, it was locked before she left the house and didn't unlock until after the murder. Like, she opened her phone a couple minutes after the murder. Timing of unlocking the device is significant as compared to her departure and arrival time from the residence and should be noted by the court. Particularly, Leticia did not open her phone for approximately 30 minutes after she arrived back to the residence. And she was on her phone all the time. So usually she would pick up her phone right away and look at it, but she didn't for 30 minutes when they got back. So she believes that, something could have happened like right when she got home. Probably packless. She probably was using something. There was a message text from Gannon's phone to Harley's phone that reads, Tisha left her phone. If you need her, text me. Investigators were able to confirm, based on surveillance footage and purchase receipts, that she traveled to Petco. The Petco is approximately 22 miles from the residence and a 30-minute drive. Receipt shows that Leticia completed her purchase at 11:22. Gannon is not visible on any of the surveillance video obtained at Petco, so obviously he's in the car. Leticia's whereabouts are unknown between 11:22 and 13:22. At 13:22 hours, Leticia was again captured on video making a second purchase at Petco. Mr. Stauch sent a text message to Gannon's phone at 12:06 that read, "Hey, buddy." This message was unanswered until 13:21. The response was, "Can I play Zelda at least?" Mr. Stauch said, "Not today." A significant event occurred on Gannon's phone at 13:43, which is prior to arriving back at the residence. There was an internet search on Gannon's phone that said, "Can my parent find my cell phone if it's off?" I submit that this internet search was likely conducted by Leticia on Gannon's phone and not Gannon himself based upon the content of the search, the day the search terms are phrased, the presence of a period in between phone and if. This is very similar way to the way Leticia conducted searches on her phone. Hey, Milena. Ooh, nice. They're finally asleep. However, I located the other internet searches with a period, or is that a period or a comma? I don't know. Again, in search history, which I can reasonably also believe were conducted by Leticia. A more detailed explanation of Leticia's search history is included below in paragraph 41. The search term was parent singular. I submit it as reasonable that Mr. Stauch only, not Leticia, would be interested in the location of Gannon's phone and that Leticia was possibly deliberating on or how she would dispose of Gannon's phone after she murdered him. I conducted the Google search, can I find my cell phone? It's off, and learned that the first answer returned in the search engine is the answer of your question depends on what method is being used to track your location. Gannon's phone was found at the residence. I submit that Leticia did not get rid of Gannon's phone for fear it might be traceable. The Nissan Frontier was returned to the Stauch residence at or about 14:20 hours. A search warrant authorized by this court was executed on the Nissan Frontier and found no indication of blood inside the vehicle. So they drove in the Nissan Frontier when they left the house, and she was driving all around. Hey, Roll Tide. She had been without her cell phone for hours, yet her screen was not unlocked until approximately 14:45, which was 25 minutes after arriving at the residence. They know this by the ADT records, which she probably did the murder and then opened her phone after that. Lena returned. She knew she had to be quick because Lena was coming home from school at 15 hours. So she had to get as much done as she could before Lena would come home. So whatever, she was in a rush. Like I said, I always thought that maybe she had, given him bath salts and was hoping he would be poisoned and pass away in the car and she could dump him, and that he didn't. And she knew that she had to move faster. So she ran home before she knew Lena was coming home from school. So she couldn't waste any more time. So she came home and then, knew that he was too sick or something and had to and panicked and did it as fast as she could. That's just my opinion, just because of that, weird text about bath salts. But I'm sure she's at the casino if her birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday, Nina. Happy early birthday. I got you, Packless. I got you. I'm trying to go through it fast, not reading everything. So we can. It's a long. It's like 30 pages. So I'm trying to go through it fast. All right. So Lena returned home from school at 15 hours. During a recorded forensic interview with investigators, she stated she returned home. Leticia told Gannon was asleep in bed and that she could not see him. Leticia told Lena, go outside and play, and I submit that Lena was sent outside because Gannon was likely dead, and Leticia was cleaning up blood from the inside of the house. At about 15:55 hours, Mr. Stauch sent another text message to Gannon's phone. Hey, buddy, this message was not read until 1940 hours. It is likely Gannon was already murdered by Leticia by this time Mr. Stauch sent the message. Based on exterior video footage, Harley arrived at the residence in her white Volkswagen Jetta at about 16:42 hours and picked up Lena. At about 16:52 hours, Leticia sent a text to Harley requesting carpet cleaner, trash bags, and baking soda. These items were likely used to clean up the murder scene. Harley purchased these items, and investigators located a receipt documenting the purchase. Harley has refused to speak with investigators. Now, my question is, what did she tell Harley it was for? And if Harley came home, how did she not see her mom cleaning that up? We knew it. We knew it, Nina. All right. Investigators do not believe that Harley was present when Gannon was killed. Harley was at work from 8:30 to 16:15. Investigators were able to verify this with her employer. To be clear, investigators have not located any evidence that any person other than Lena and Leticia had access to Gannon between approximately 10 hours and 17:34 hours. All right, so here's the statements captured on body cam footage. Your affiant was reviewed body cam footage from the deputy that responded to the Stauch family home. After responding, Leticia provided verbal consent for deputies to search the house for Gannon. By way of timeline, episode patrol responded at about 22:09 hours, approximately 3 hours after Leticia initially called 911. From the BCW, I learned the Volkswagen Tiguan, known to be leased and utilized by Leticia, was backed into the garage. It was backed into the garage, and that's where his body was, in the trunk of the Tiguan. The position of the Tiguan in the garage is significant because of the confirmed presence of Gannon's blood in the garage below the area where the rear hatch of the Tiguan would be, and positive reaction of Blue Star Regent, indicating likely presence of blood on the Tiguan's rear bumper. Hey, Ryan. Sounds good. Replay crew, have fun at work. Sorry that you have to work on a Friday night. Responding deputies also searched the Gannon basement bedroom, and I have viewed images of Gannon's bedroom taken from BWC. Below, I've included a BWC image of Gannon's bedroom. On the right, an image recovered from Leticia's cell phone after executing a search warrant that was applied for and granted by this court. The images represent the condition of Gannon's bedroom. Photo comparison is significant for many reasons. In the corner of the bedroom was where Gannon's head was visible as the key area discussed. Placement of Gannon's bed in the immediate location where his blood, based on DNA results... Oh, I got a hair in my mouth. Based on DNA profile results, was found on the wall, the carpet, and in the concrete below the carpet. These details are discussed below, and a large volume of blood appears to have been in the area. Got it. For the purpose of comparison between the images, it appears that although the sheet may not be the same, the blankets are different and the pillowcase. If not, the whole pillow is different. So she changed the sheets. I think she just threw the sheets out. Hey, Queef Eater. Like, she changed everything in the bed because she probably had them wrapped in the sheets and stuff. So she changed, you can't see it, but she changed everything. Another photo was recovered from Leticia's cell phone that shows the bed was not pushed directly against the wall by the head of the bed. This photo articulates the ability for blood to get onto the walls and the floor in the corner of the bedroom. Mr. Stauch stated the position of the bed is unusual and the bed is usually pushed against the wall. Mr. Stauch spent the night in Denver on January 25th and flew out of Denver International Airport on January 26th. Investigators were able to corroborate that he traveled to Dallas, Texas, and ultimately Oklahoma based on his flight records. In the morning of January 28th, Leticia rented a 2019 Kia Rio from Avis Rent-A-Car in Colorado Springs. Leticia picked up Mr. Stauch at the Colorado Springs airport at 8:50 hours on January 28th. Shortly after Leticia rented the vehicle, Leticia and Mr. Stauch drove back to the residence from the airport in the rented Kia. So, in a nutshell, yes, wicked stepmother for sure. In a nutshell, she put him in the back of her Tiguan. She drove the Tiguan to the airport, left it there, rented a car, took Al home in that car while Gannon's body stayed in the Tiguan in the trunk until she returned the car and got her car back. So that was a way to keep his body away from all the searching going on in her rent-a-car at the airport, which I don't understand how police didn't catch on to that right away, too. Like, her car is gone. Go, you know. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think of that, Nina. I'm sure it smelled like carpet cleaner, though. She was cleaning, you know what I mean? It probably smelled like carpet cleaner and baking soda, you know. That probably took over and blamed it on the candle thing, which makes me wonder, was, like, how long did she plan this? I don't know, but yeah. I think it had to do with the cleaning supplies, why they couldn't smell it. The timing of the rental of the Kia is suspicious, and combined with the forensic evidence later obtained from the Tiguan and discussed below, tends to place additional importance on why Leticia felt compelled to rent a vehicle that morning. Investigators located no evidence that the Tiguan was not mechanically functioning or noted any reason why it could not have been physically driven. In fact, the Tiguan remained parked in the Colorado Springs Airport short-term parking lot till approximately 1900 hours on January 28th. She provided statements to her husband, Albert, that she was concerned about putting mileage on her Tiguan lease, which justified the vehicle rental. It is noted, however, that during the time of the Kia rental, Leticia only put about 71 miles on the vehicle. During the time period Leticia had the Kia, she would not provide the location of the Tiguan, and Mr. Stauch never saw the Tiguan. For example, she told Mr. Stauch that the Tiguan was near French elementary school. Between investigators and Mr. Stauch, a limited search for the Tiguan was conducted and produced negative results. Investigators later learned she had left the vehicle in a short-term parking lot of the Colorado Springs Airport, but removed the vehicle at or about January 28th at 1900 hours. The Kia Rio was returned on the morning of January 20th. I don't know yet, Mel. I'll have to look that up. I just know that it's starting the 20th. I don't know if there's going to be cameras or not. I know Valo's not having cameras, and I don't think Orrin Norse and West Child's having cameras either. And Delphi, I'm not sure of. I know Delphi, they're all at the end of March. So I'll have to look at that up. Hey, Linda, are you coming in late again? I'm kidding. All right, where was I? I submit Leticia could not pick her husband up in the Volkswagen Tiguan. I blame it on YouTube, given these late notifications. It's all YouTube's fault. I submit Leticia could not pick her husband up in the Volkswagen Tiguan because it likely would have revealed evidence, hey devil, of Gannon's murder, including blood on the actual remains of Gannon himself. The Kia Rio. Investigators applied for and were granted by the court a search warrant of the Kia rented by Leticia. The vehicle was located at the rental car company at the Colorado Springs Airport and had not been rented to another customer in between the time Leticia dropped it off and when investigators seized it. They did take a swab from a stain that was confirmed to be blood in the trunk of the Kia Rio and submitted it to the Metro Crime Lab for analysis. A DNA profile was developed and determined it was a mixture of two contributors, one of which was male, and the major male profile did not match Gannon's DNA. That's weird. I wonder what the car was used for before she ran it. If somebody else had gotten rid of a body or something with that, like, what are the odds that they found another stain of blood in the trunk? Hey, Princess Megan Elsa, we're reading the affidavit of Leticia Stauch to remind everybody what had went down before the trial on March 20th, which we've been waiting a long time for this trial. Now, I know I can't keep up with one trial, let alone Sarah Boone 5 trials, all at the end of March. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to be crazy busy. And I work during the day now, so I don't know how I'm going to do it, but we're going to have to do like nightly recaps every night of a different one every night, or do like just recap every trial going on every night. It's going to be rough for sure. Where was it? All right, so I've submitted the Kia Rio as a rental car and has likely been utilized by a large number of people, and the blood in the trunk may not relate it to the investigation. Investigators may not be able to determine the likely age of the blood and have not matched it to any unknown DNA profiles associated with the case. Investigators noted that the Kia had a significant amount of mud underneath the vehicle, but this did not provide any successful leads in looking for Gannon's remains. Investigators collected the air filter of the vehicle and attempted to identify particles that might be useful to identify where the vehicle may have been. Investigators were unable to recover any GPS location or location history for the Kia Rio. You'll help with one trial. All right. I'm gonna have to give everyone a designated trial to keep up on. Like, I'll do one, Mel, you could do one, Sarah can do one. We'll all have one to keep up with, so we can just combine our information at the end of the day. Hey, Clenjamin, anybody wants to volunteer, you can. Sorry, I wish you'd give me the cliff notes and timestamps of important parts. Yeah, that's what we need to do. We're gonna have to write down. We're just gonna have to watch and write down all the timestamps of the important parts, so we can go back and play the clips of them. So keep that in mind, guys, when you're watching. If there's anything of notable significance, write down the timestamps. Because there's going to be 5 trials all at the same time. No bed of roses, and all huge trials like Lori Vallow, Orrin Orson West, Leticia Stauch, Delphi, Sarah Boone, and then shortly after that is going to be the Brian Koberger trial. So it's going to be big. Like, it's going to be a lot of trials all coming in at one time. Yeah, hot trials for sure. Yay, Jen! Jen will do one too. All right, Jen. You can come up and talk about whatever one you're doing with me too if you want. Where was we? Volkswagen Tiguan is important to investigator. Oh wait, we've seen that. Hold on. Tiguan was used to transport the remains of Gannon from the Stauch residence to a location where Gannon's body was dumped. Definitive locations of the Tiguan are unknown to investigators during the time period of approximately 1902 on January 28, 2020, and approximately 1200 hours on January 29th. Investigators believe Leticia dumped Gannon's remains on the evening of January 28th and utilized the Tiguan to do so. The Tiguan was seized from Leticia on January 29th. Leticia had a scheduled interview with investigators on the 29th at the EPSO located in downtown Colorado Springs, Colorado. Oh, this was funny. When she arrived at or about 1200 hours, she was driving in the Tiguan. Investigators noted that the vehicle was wet and appeared to have been recently cleaned. So she literally stopped they have her on video too. She stopped at the car wash and cleaned the car before she got there. I submit that Leticia had to clean the vehicle because there was likely visible blood on the rear end based on the below luminol reactions. Indeed, video footage was recovered that shows a partial view of the car wash located at East Platte Ave, Bonfoy Ave in Colorado Springs. Video captured a portion of a black SUV consistent with the Volkswagen Tiguan at or about 11:30 hours, January 29th, at the car wash. The time and location are consistent with raw data obtained from the Tiguan's computer system, described in more detail. Right? Exactly, Linda. Like, and it's, you know what? I was thinking, like, maybe I can watch them, like, during the day, but I'm taking care of a 6-month-old during the day, and she's not, like, I can watch when she takes naps, but she's, like, she just constantly wants to play and likes attention. She's not one of those kids who will sit and watch movies, so it's hard. I've tried. But they need to know that this is too much for me. I can't do it. I treat all kids like they're my own when they're in my presence. Exactly, MK. So do I. I mean, I love kids. I love babies, and I'm the same way. Like, I just, they're my babies too, and I just can't fathom this, like, at all. The nerve. Leticia had a scheduled interview with investigators. She arrived at or about 1200 hours. She was driving the Tiguan. Oh, wait, I read that already. All right. They applied for and granted a search warrant for the Tiguan, which was seized from Leticia at her interview and towed to the EPSO evidence facility. On or about February 1st, the FBI residence response team conducted a search of the Volkswagen Tiguan. In summary, the forensic portion of the search revealed possible traces of blood on the rear vehicle, a rear passenger seat, front passenger seat, and an area near the glove box used based on luminol forensic latent bloodstain reagent tests. Swabs from the trunk area were sent to the Mentor Klein lab for further analysis. Those results revealed that a DNA profile could not be developed and that the swab from the trunk was negative for presence of blood. To be clear, luminol is a chemical. Everyone knows what luminol, right? It's a chemical they put on the area, and then they put like a UV light over it, and it shows if there had been blood. And even if you try and wash it off with water, the blood still remains. I think, like, for every million drops of water, it'll clean up like 1 drop of blood or something to, like, luminol. Like, it's very hard to hide blood. Even cleaning it up, you can still see it with the luminol. It reacts with the iron and hemoglobin found in blood. It emits a blue glow when a reaction occurs. All right, several areas of the Tiguan reacted to luminol. The team found evidence of suspected blood on the rear bumper, a step plate of the rear bumper. The location of blood is significant because it's where she backed the garage in and put Gannon the day of the murder. Photo below is to demonstrate the reaction of luminol, which you can never see these photos because they're like black and white and done on a printer. Okay, within the Tiguan, a receipt from the dollar store was located and timestamped January 27th, 1714, and document the purchase of trash bags, baking soda, and vinegar, and items listed in paragraph 74. Harley purchased these items. Leticia, carpet powder, 2 things, baking soda, and trash bags. I guess that was the text. Also included in the dollar store purchase was baby oil, baby lotion, cotton rounds, and bubble gum. Investigators do believe that other items were involved in the cleaning of the murder scene and likely have no investigative value. Were not involved in the other items. Believe other items weren't involved in the cleaning of the murder scene and likely have no investigative value at this point. I know from personal experience that baking soda and vinegar are common household items that can be used to clean blood. Additionally, I conducted open source internet searches that revere vinegar as one of the most common items used to clean blood stains, and that when baking soda is applied to blood stains prior to vinegar, it is efficient in removing blood stains. While the purchase of items such as vinegar and baking soda are common and in no sense illegal on their own, the timing of the purchase is definitely suspicious. They located a parking receipt for the Colorado Springs Airport where she left the Tiguan. They returned the Kia on January 29th. She returned the Kia at 900 hours, and she was picked up by someone driving a white Jetta, which we presume is Harley. Investigators were able to download telematics and electronic data from the Tiguan. The location of the Tiguan on the evening of January 28th, including its location in the area of Highway 105 and South Perry Park Road. So they have that location on the GPS, and that's where they believe she dumped his body at first. And then I believe she went back and picked it up and brought it to Florida with her. Investigators also served a search warrant to AT&T, and that shows the estimated location of the Tiguan. It says that it was generally in the northwest portion of Colorado Springs, which is the same area. Yeah, peroxide does remove stains from clothing. It removes stains on your teeth, everything. Peroxide works really good for stuff like that. They usually put peroxide in toothpaste for its whitening abilities. Okay, so of that note, during a time period of 20:30 and 22:20 hours on January 28th, Harley's cell phone is connected to a tower that would have service to the Stauch resident over approximately 30 miles from Leticia's suspected location. There was activity on Harley's telephone during that time. Investigators do not believe Harley was with Leticia when she disposed of the body. But she did, however, at approximately 22:26 hours, Harley's cell phone leaves the Stauch residence and goes to the hours of Powers and Carefree, where investigations suspect she picked Leticia up. All right, so on January 29th, Leticia voluntarily came to EPSO for an interview with investigators, but only after she was evasive and avoiding speaking with investigators one-on-one. Her interview was audio and video recorded, and the below information includes her own statements as well as, I can't wait to see this, by the way, as well as investigation geared towards corroborating those statements. In general, her statements are reasonably categorized as untruthful, incomplete, and misleading. She was supposed to arrive at 10 a.m. on January 29th, but did not arrive till noon. Although she spoke with investigators on the phone several times, she did not want investigators coming to her home and was difficult at best to track down. Investigators provided food and water to Leticia during the interview. Of interest, Leticia brought several pieces of notebook paper with her that contained notes she had written down. During the interview, she referred to these pieces of paper and asked investigators if she could just read her notes. Investigators were not able to seize those documents. I've conducted hundreds of interviews of subject, victims, witnesses. It's extremely rare for an individual to bring notes to an interview. She drastically departed from her initial statements given to EPSO regarding the report of Gannon's disappearance. In summary, she said she had been held at gunpoint and RAPED by a Hispanic male known as Eduardo. and that Gannon was abducted by that male after he finished RAPing her. The interviewing detectives believe her statements were false based on prior experience investigating SA cases. Leticia said she arrived home around 14:30 hours on January 27th, and she disarmed her security system and then went into the basement. She said that Eduardo was in the basement and attacked her and pointed a gun at her. She said that after Eduardo held her at gunpoint, he allowed her to go upstairs to greet her stepdaughter, Lena, who had just arrived home from school, which is bullcrap. What guy, RAPing you, goes, oh, hey, yeah, go greet your daughter real quick and then come back? I mean, obviously, you're going to freaking run. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't she run then? She said she greeted Lena, who had just arrived home from school. Leticia had said she sent her outside to ride her bike, then returned to the basement. Yeah, returned to the basement where Eduardo is, who penetrated her against her will between 15:30 and 16:30 hours. During this period, she believed that she hit her head and may have blacked out. Investigators noted no injuries on Leticia's head during their contact with her. She said during the attack, Gannon jumped on Eduardo's back and that Eduardo was able to throw Gannon off his back and across the room. After Eduardo had finished, he had gun held to Gannon and demanded a suitcase. Leticia provided him with a brown suitcase in a cardboard box. Eduardo attempted to essay her again and hit her in the back of her head, and she blacked out again. Now, mind you, like I said, she gives away everything through her statements all the time, like the suitcase. He was in a suitcase when they found him. She's always giving away stuff because she just can't stop talking. She posted so much stuff online, it was like blatantly obvious she was guilty when all this happened. She tried to fight off Eduardo, but was unsuccessful. She knows from training and experience that if an individual holds another person at gunpoint, she will likely not allow the person to have opportunity for escape, as Leticia described being allowed to greet her stepdaughter upstairs before returning to the basement. Most crucially, if Leticia's story was accurate, any reasonable person would have immediately called 911 and reported the home invasion, RAP, and kidnapping of their child. Leticia called law enforcement hours later and did not report the RAP until approximately 2 days later. Of even more significance, she said she cleaned up the area where this alleged attack had happened. She straightened up signs of disturbances in Gannon's room and cleaned up the utility room. Investigators recovered cleaning supplies, such as carpet brushes, which contained suspected carpet fibers. I submit that Leticia did, in fact, clean. Investigators took steps to corroborate Leticia's statements after dismissing them as false and misleading. For example, investigators reviewed video footage from a neighbor's security camera that captured the exterior of the Stauch residence from the day of Gannon's murder and did not observe a Hispanic male entering the house. Investigators didn't observe Lena arrive home from school at 15:11 hours and observed her enter the residence and observed her riding her bike at 15:30 hours. Furthermore, Leticia was offered the opportunity to have an a SANE exam done. She did not want to have exam completed. When given the opportunity to provide investigators with evidence that could possibly identify Eduardo, Leticia refused to cooperate. She stated that she met Eduardo on January 26th, the day prior to Gannon's murder. She generally described a Hispanic male with brown hair and brown eyes, but could not provide any specific identifying information. In summary, she told investigators that Gannon had knocked over a candle on Sunday, causing the carpet to burn. After that incident, she drove around the neighborhood where residential construction was taking place. She met Eduardo, who was working on a house, and asked if he would repair the carpet in her home. Eduardo agreed, and Leticia provided him the garage door code, and they agreed he would repair the carpet while she was shopping the next day. Oh, a total garbage human. Hey, Molly Lollipops, good to see you. To the extent Leticia spoke out about Lena, investigators were able to corroborate those statements, but never observed Eduardo or anyone else arrive or leave the residence during that time period based on the exterior neighborhood video footage. Investigators also reviewed her phone records during the time period of the RAPE between 15:30 and 16:30 hours. During this period, Leticia had phone activity to include an outgoing phone call and numerous iMessages to Mr. Stauch and Harley, namely to purchase a new set of headphones for Albert. These text messages occurred at the following times. 1541, 1542, 43, 44, 45, 1611, 1619, 1620. So if she was being RAPED, she was texting while she was being RAPED. Investigators granted a search warrant by the court for the ADT's home security system, which also showed nobody entering the house during the time they were gone, just Leticia and Gannon entering when they got home. So they submit her claims of being RAPED in the basement are false based on her cell phone activity in ADT. All right, so the logs from ADT show significant activity in the basement of the residence where evidence suggests Gannon was murdered. For example, between January 23rd and January 26th, the hours of 1517, the average number of basement motion events was 3.5. January 27th, the average number of basement motion events was 10.3. Possible scenario for the increase in activity is Leticia was going upstairs and downstairs in order to get cleaning supplies and cleaning the scene. Towards the end of the interview, Leticia said she wanted to leave. Investigators seized her telephone and detained her while they applied for a search warrant to obtain DNA collection. She began stuffing tissues in her pants and said she was having chest pains and shortness of breath. So she was stuffing tissues in her pants so they couldn't get the DNA from them. And then she said she had chest pains and they had to send her to the hospital. Investigators immediately requested medical assistance and paramedics from the fire department arrived, and Leticia had appropriate responses to the paramedics' questions. All right, during her statements, Leticia did deny killing Gannon and provide an explanation as to why there was blood in her Tiguan, blood in Gannon's room, and why she was in the area of Palmer Lake, Colorado. She reported to the local hospital on January 29th. She was transported to the hospital via ambulance. Wait, where was the bike story? Did I miss that? They didn't. She also told a bike story. She said that he like rode his bike or something. That might be later. All right, so she was transported to the hospital. She was accompanied by detectives during the ride to the hospital. Like questions at episode by paramedics during the ambulance ride. Leticia was unresponsive to questions by medical personnel and seemed to have a miraculous recovery when they arrived at the hospital. The ambulance ride was audio recorded. She received medical care at the hospital, and the details of the care is not included in the affidavit for medical privacy reasons. She did not have any life-threatening issues and signed herself out prior to all her exams being completed. She continued evasive behavior at the hospital, but particularly after investigators told her they were going to detain her pending the issue of a search warrant to collect her DNA. Ultimately, the search warrant for the collection of non-testimonial evidence was signed and executed. A second warrant for the compelled SANE exam was initially authorized by the court, but then quashed by the court. To be clear, Leticia did not allow SANE exam to be completed. She was not in custody after the warrant was executed at the hospital, and she left the hospital without telling investigators. She didn't even tell them she was leaving. She made a phone call from the waiting room. There was physical surveillance being conducted by law enforcement in that area. Investigators learned Leticia was picked up by an unknown person at the hospital and was reunited with her daughter several miles from the hospital. I forget who picked her up from the hospital. Maybe the daughter's boyfriend? Although her behavior was not illegal, I submit that as pressure continued from investigators, she became more and more desperate to leave the hospital, likely because she feared being caught in her lies. She did not want to sue collecting evidence that might assist law enforcement in identifying her and finding her RAPIST. Yeah, she's so dumb. Dude, she contacted a lie detector test, like a fake lie detector test company, and you have to submit the questions to the fake lie detector test. And she submitted the question, "Did you kill your stepson?" And when they got that question, they immediately contacted police because they have it in their like fine print that they're not going to give you a fake lie detector test for like a criminal reason, you know? maybe for like cheating or something, but not some criminal, did you kill someone? Yeah, I'm still kind of like confused on if the daughter was involved or not, but she does seem like a nice girl, so I don't know. They think that she wasn't. All right, so to avoid confusion, the 28th initial search was done by Mr. Stauch. He provided consent to search the resident. Not all the residents were covered as below. However, the forensic testing results of several items, including a pair of 8.5 8.5 Nike shoes, was discussed in paragraph 126. Gannon's remaining family members were living in the residence during a period of these searches. Investigators did not initially seal the residence off. Crime scene analysts from the Colorado Springs Metro Crime Lab responded to the residence and found traces of blood throughout the residence based on luminol. By way of background, the residence is a ranch-style house with a 2-car garage attached. There are 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. 2 of the bedrooms are in the basement, including Gannon's. Next to Gannon's room, there is an unfinished utility room, and on the other side of the basement is another bedroom and bathroom. There's a staircase with a small landing, and it allows access from the main level to the basement, and the garage is accessible from inside the residence. They found blood leading from Gannon's bedroom, the hallway to the utility room, from his bedroom, the utility room itself, the staircase and landing upstairs from the utility room, the pathway to the garage from the stairs, and the garage itself. In all these areas, investigators found positive results of blood. Specifically in Gannon's bedroom, in the corner of the room, investigators located an area where they suspected blood had seeped through the carpet, through the pad, and stained the concrete. Furthermore, there was also a blood stain and projected blood spatter along the walls in the area. Indeed, over 50 droplets of suspected blood were found on the walls near Gannon's bed. He also suspected someone attempted to clean the walls on the way the Blue Star Regent reacted to the wall. Gannon's mattress was seized and contained red stain consistent with blood in the same area as the stain on the carpet, and blood cast off the walls. The stains on the mattress were swabbed, but were not tested with Blue Star Regent. The laboratory have not yet returned, but other blood in the area was determined to be Gannon's blood. Investigators suspect the blood on the mattress is also Gannon's blood. Okay, MK, thanks for coming. Have a great night. Yeah, this is a long one. I might have to do I'm going to try and get through it as fast as I can, but I'm going to go to 2 hours. We'll see where we are then. If not, I'll try and finish it another day. But I'm going to go to 2 hours. I'll see how much we can get done. I'm starving, by the way. I've included several crime scene photos. They include the wall next to Gannon's bed. And the orientation of Gannon's bed. The vast majority of blood would be in line with the position of his head and torso, consistent with the stain in the mattress above. The blood in his room has appeared to be cleaned up based on residual blood residue on the baseboards and electrical outlet cover, and the blood that soaked through the carpet was indeed Gannon's blood. Investigators requested, but have not received a report from Tom Griffin, who is a International Association for Identification certified senior crime scene analyst, a blood stain pattern analyst, and a crime scene reconstructionist. So he'll be cool to hear about at the trial. He examined the blood spatter on Gannon's walls. Mr. Griffin preliminary reported that the stains on the wall are consistent with one or more blood spatter producing events, which could include gunshot, blunt force, or a stabbing. Mr. Griffin did believe the bloodstains were aspirated blood, primarily due to a lack of air bubbles in the stains. Furthermore, the shape of the stains were affected by the surface texture of the drywall itself. The final report from Mr. Griffin has not yet been received and is pending a peer review. Oh, I have food. He got me Chinese. It's sitting right here. I just can't eat while I'm talking. Hey, Matt. Trace evidence swabs of suspected blood were obtained from the electrical socket next to Gannon's bed. These swabs revealed the blood was indeed Gannon's blood based on DNA profile testing. The electrical socket also had evidence of streak marks, which was reasonably suspected to be Leticia's attempted cleaning. When investigators removed the outlet cover, the visible red stain was present, outlining its edges The presence of the stain tends to support that there was enough blood around the outlet cover to keep seeping around its edges, leaving a visible outline. I know, I do. I need like a permanent co-host so I can take little breaks in between. Are you volunteering yourself, Devil? All right. Photo of the wall next to Gannon's bed with suspected blood stains. It's really hard to see. I also have included a photo of the blood stain on the concrete, which is also hard to see, so I'm just going to skip that. Investigators recovered a piece of carpet from the utility room with possible blood stains. Recovery of this carpet tends to further support the positive alerts from the Blue Star Regent in the utility room. January 29th, investigators found in the dishwasher multiple carpet brushes with suspected fibers on them, and the dishwasher appeared to have been run. Investigators believe these brushes were used to clean up the murder scene. To be clear, no formal testing was completed to confirm the fibers on the brushes were carpet. Investigators also located an empty gallon size. All right, I got you. I will let you know in advance for sure. Investigators also located an empty gallon-sized container of vinegar within the residence. Mr. Stauch believed there was approximately half of the container left before he left for Oklahoma. As mentioned above, additional vinegar was purchased on January 27th. Episode deputies responded to the Stauch home on January 27th and did not notice a blood stain in Gannon's bedroom. It should be noted that the initial report was that Gannon had left home and not returned. As additional information was developed, more forensic searches of Gannon's room were conducted, which revealed aforementioned evidence. There were small traces of blood found in the depressions of the drywall and paint texture that Leticia failed to remove when she cleaned the murder scene. All right, so Metro Crime Lab report case. So, hold on a second. Never mind. He was being loud. DNA testing in the portions of this affidavit. All right. I am just going to go through this fast because this will be something I could just say what they are. All right. So they found a tooth. They submitted stuff from Gannon's toothbrush head, and from a tooth retainer that Mr. Stauch said belonged to Gannon. Buccal swabs were also taken from Gannon's bio father, mother, and from Leticia. From these samples, DNA profiles were developed. Gannon's DNA profile was found from blood samples taken in the garage, on the outside of the Nike shoes, Gannon's bedroom. Leticia's DNA was recovered from the interior size 8.5 shoes. To corroborate the theory that Gannon was indeed murdered in his bedroom, brought into the garage, and his remains loaded in the Volkswagen Tiguan subsequently to be disposed of in an unknown location. To be more specific, a serology study was conducted by the Metro Crime Lab, and the following samples tested positive for presence of blood. Taken from a piece of carpet, taken from the garage residence directly under where the rear hatch of the Tiguan, so the bottom of the car, another bottom of the car. Brief cameo, just want to stop by. Oh, hey, Aries, I hope your vacation is going awesome, and we miss you. Can't wait till you come back when you're free later. All right, sounds good. It's 11:32. Tokyo sounds fun. I've seen so many places there that I want to go to. Yeah, she put the stuff she used to clean up the scene in the dishwasher. Isn't that gross? It's like blood in the dishwasher, and you use it for your dishes. Ugh. But I mean, I guess the dishwasher runs really hot, and you can put like sanitizing stuff in there, so it makes sense. All right, and then so taken from bloodstained carpet fibers in Gannon's bedroom, they found blood in Gannon's bedroom on the carpet pad. They took the electrical outlet cover by his bed. They took an electrical socket from his bedroom by his bed. They took the backside of the carpet in his bedroom. They took they found a blood stain on the top of the foam in the carpet in his bedroom, an area taken from the trunk of the Tiguan, taken from a teal couch pillow in the basement, and taken from the outsole of the Nike shoe. That's where that's all the items they found blood on. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, the smell, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, but it runs really hot. Like the dishwasher, you can put and you can put cleaning stuff in there. So it's actually a smart move on her part, I guess. But it's kind of gross. Investigators applied for and granted search warrant by the court to obtain historical call detail records to include cell phone locations. Historical cell site analysis identified unusual activity for Leticia, including potentially disconnecting her cell phone from the cellular network for several hours. I submit that by disconnecting the phone, Leticia intended to prevent law enforcement from being able to determine her location. Specifically, this occurred on January 28th during the evening where she disposed of his remains. So this is the search of her cell phone. They applied for him or they were granted a search warrant. There are messages that would otherwise tend to corroborate her statements about Gannon's whereabouts on the afternoon of January 27th, if in fact he did go play with his friends. As discussed in other portions of the affidavit, Leticia's story was false and misleading, and these messages were likely sent by her as a part of a larger plan to support her initial lies about his disappearance. For example, on January 28th at approximately 05:14 hours, Leticia had a conversation with Stephanie, the children's babysitter, saved in the phone as Stephanie's sitter. There is no indication that Gannon ever went to a doctor, and Leticia never brought that up with investigators. Some, but not all of their conversation is below. So, to Stephanie's sitter, outgoing. This happened after 3:30. We talked to him then and told him to be home by 6. And then the sitter said someone posted he wasn't at school either. And then Leticia said he had to go to a doctor's for his stomach. But he was here in the afternoon. And then Stephanie said, where did he say he was at? And she said, honestly, I don't keep up with friends. Leticia made statements to investigators via text message that could be considered exculpatory in nature related to the presence of blood in the basement of their residence as seen in the below text message. I have talked with investigators that were inside the Stauch residence on January 27th, 28th, 29th, and there was no odor of smoke and no evidence of smoke. In fact, one detective noted that the basement smelled like coconut and was very pleasant. Furthermore, I know that burns oftentimes do not produce wounds that bleed profusely. This is outgoing to Nicole. Oh, this is the landlord, I guess. When we came back inside, sorry, I have a sore throat because everyone's sick in my house and it's starting to crack on me. When he came back inside from the smoke, there was blood on both of us. I didn't know what to do. I was scared I would get tossed out about it. And I didn't know if he should go to the doctor. I kept trying to add the candle thing, but Albert kept saying it was small and minor. I was scared. The basement was smoky, and I threw. She said sacred, but I was scared. It meant to be scared. The basement was smoky, and when I threw the covers on everything, we both had blood. And then she said, "You don't understand how hard it is to be a stepmom." Yeah, same, Sarah. I'm definitely not eating from or lazy. Yeah, Linda. I'm not eating anything from the dishwasher for sure. The below message appears to contain instructions from Leticia to Harley to purchase. This is all right. So she said carpet powder, 2 things, baking soda, trash bags. Investigators have recovered limited GPS and location data from Leticia's phone. There's a crucial time period, such as the evening of January 28th, that investigators were not able to recover location history because she had turned her phone off. Leticia stored several written notes within her phone. The majority of these notes contain what appear to be usernames, passwords, and insurance information. There are several notes that appear to reference her unhappiness in the relationship and shed some light on potential household instability. I was able to review some, but possibly not all, and stored internet search history and websites visited, recovered from the forensic download and search of Leticia's phone. Between the dates January 25th and 28th, Leticia reviewed websites to she does some weird searching, and how she searches is so strange to me, but I don't know. I'll never understand it. Why is my camera so bright? All right. Oh, there we go. She viewed websites associated with searching for a job in Los Angeles, Orlando, Pensacola, and Fort Lauderdale. She also viewed apartments and 2-bedroom rental properties in Florida. Additionally, she visited a moving cost calculator website. Her internet activity also captured the search for a rental car and visited website Priceline.com on January 28th at 8:17 hours. I submit this timing is consistent with the acquisition of the Kia Rio mentioned in the affidavit. She appeared to use Google, a popular online search engine. They've included some of her queries to Google along with the date and approximate time of searches. Not all of her Google searches are included below. I submit that Leticia's history is important because the history suggests she might have been struggling as a step-parent and additionally suggests she was not happily married to Mr. Stauch. While her search history alone does not provide motive to murder, it does shed light on her thoughts and her position in the family. I also direct the court's attention to the way Leticia's search terms are sometimes entered. Leticia hits the period key instead of the space multiple times while searching the internet. And approximately 44% of her searches listed below. This is significant during the discussion conducted on Gannon's phone as we discussed the paragraph. Yeah, because on Gannon's phone, she had searched, can a parent find my phone? And it had the same thing. All right, here's her searches. Find military singles. Google search. Like, why military people? Because you want someone to take care of you, I guess? Like, what? Find military singles. Parenting should be 4 people, not 1. Why 4 people? I'm confused. Oh, I guess because they're her stepchildren? I'm doing all the work for my stepkids and their mom doesn't help. Mom advice from stepmom. If you aren't involved in your kid's life, you are shitty. Like, who Google searches that? My husband's ex-wife does nothing for her kids. I wonder if she did this for her hatred, because of her hatred towards Landon. I wonder if my husband's ex-wife is sending me a card since I raise her kids. I'm pretty sure that's a meme. I wonder if my husband's ex-wife is sending me a Valentine's card since I raise her kids. I wonder if my husband's ex-wife is sending me a Valentine's card since I raise her kids. One day some people will wish they treated you differently. Why should my husband choose me over family? Find a rich guy who wants me to take care of his kids. Find a guy who wants me to take care of his kids and get paid. It's crappy some parents don't care for their kids or buy them presents. Parents are those who put their kids before their nails. My son burned the carpet. How do I fix it? Will humidifier help if exposed to smoke? Smoke effects. Will humidifier help? Smoke from fire effects. Will humidifier help? Colorado law for LDD testing at home? I don't know what that is. Oh, IDD, opposition defiant disorder. I believe Gannon had oppositional defiant disorder, which, if that's what it means, she was, she was probably stressed. Oppositional defiant disorder is, I've heard, tough to deal with. I don't know. I heard that he had it. I don't know if he was tested or she thought he had it, but I remember hearing that. She was probably stressed because Al, put this all on her. Now, I'm not sticking up for her at all, but it just shows her mental state at the time, School's out. Is it okay for my kid to stay home alone? Son is sick, but I have to go to work. Son's sick. Can he stay home? Suede repair for sofa, El Paso Sheriff's Office number. What is the process for our runaway child? Police steps for our runaway. Police steps for our missing child. Today's flight. Something. Can Nintendo find my Switch? Carnet Volkswagen. They're asking for our son's toothbrush, but said nothing is wrong. That's the weirdest. They're asking for what? But why would she want El Paso Sheriff's number on the 27th? It makes you wonder if she planned it. I don't know. That's her search activity from 125 to 128. Investigators were also able to recover internet search history that was deleted from her phone. No time and date associated with the data. I can only assert that the searches were conducted prior to EPSO seizing Leticia's phone on the 29th. Some but not all search history is included below. Some of the deleted search terms include travel planning, shopping, job searches, and other seemingly innocent activity. I've not purposely left out any particular search that would be exculpatory in nature. I'm not intending to portray all of Leticia's deleted searches were nefarious in nature. Find me a new husband book. I feel like I'm just a nanny, not a stepmom. Husband uses me to babysit his kids. Are there any free money to move away from bad situation? My husband never posts about me, but does everything else. My husband only cleans up for the army, not me. I'm just a glorified babysitter. Find a new husband, send my husband sexual messages, and he ignores them. Make my husband want me more. I feel like my husband uses me to babysit his kids, and find a guy without kids. Yeah, right, Linda? Exactly. He's probably defiant because she was crazy, you know? Yeah, same, Devil. I think she just snapped. I feel like it was like one of those like, or she. I think maybe she could have given bath salts the night before out of like, and then felt like she had to like do it because of that weird bath salt text message that I just can't get over. It drives me crazy. Like, why would you even bring that up? During the first 20 to 48 hours surrounding the disappearance of a child, it is reasonable that a seemingly innocent parent would contribute to searching efforts. She didn't contribute to search efforts. She rented a vehicle, turned her cell phone off for hours on the evening of the 28th. On 28th, between 08:48 and 08:54, Leticia instructed Harley, pull your car in the garage via text message, presumably temporary cover up any potential evidence left behind. To be clear, Harley has her own vehicle that was mentioned above in paragraph 13, specifically a Volkswagen Jetta. On January 28th, at approximately 16:17, investigators asked Leticia for Gannon's toothbrush to recover his DNA. On or about 16:19 hours, Leticia did a search in her internet browser. They are asking for her son's toothbrush, but said nothing is wrong. Leticia, something isn't right. I think they are hiding something. Mr. Stauch, who? The police? Yeah, they asked for toothbrushes. What do you think they are hiding? Also, on January 28th, on or about 22:45 hours, Leticia made a statement to investigators via text message. At the time of the statement, Gannon had been missing for 27 hours, and Leticia believed she was the subject in his disappearance without any prior prompting from law enforcement or notification of such. Leticia, what do you want from me? Because I have nothing. One of your very own leaked to me what you guys were doing. I did nothing, and I am being set up. I'm not really even sure, other than being told that by another blue with El Paso. I was told I couldn't go home to sleep. On top of that, men were sent to the home with a minor female, and she was forced to stay there, not to even leave for food. Every conversation that said, even at this moment, I can hear inside. What do you want from me? Detective Bethel, come in to talk to me. I would just like information to find Gannon. After EPSO investigation seized Leticia's Volkswagen Tiguan on the 29th, she obtained a 2020 Nissan Altima. Investigators applied for and were granted a search warrant by this court to install a GPS tracker on the vehicle. Investigators monitored this tracking device, which provided particularly useful information on January 31st. A map of some of this data is included below. This information will be discussed below and relates to the area of Palmer Lake along Highway 105 South Prairie Park Road. I believe that they're trying to say that she utilized the Altima to return to the area in which she disposed of Gannon's body. Indeed, investigators recovered a piece of particle board from this area with blood on it. I think she picked his body up and put it in that car to take to Florida with her. In fact, Leticia came back to this area on the 31st. As significant, investigators have not uncovered any evidence that Leticia has family or friends that live in the area, or a legitimate reason for her presence in the area. I've submitted a reasonable theory that Leticia returned to this area based on information the affidavit as follows. She disposed of Gannon's remains at nighttime and likely was nervous about the location she chose, may have not remembered where exactly she dumped Gannon's remains. believed that on the 31st she went back to the area to view the area while the sunlight was available to ensure no evidence was viewed from the road. At this point when they released this, they had not known that she had dumped his body in Florida. So they didn't know that she actually went back there to pick his body up and bring it to Florida with her. When she was being interviewed by that guy Spencer, they were literally packing the car, so his body was probably there at that time. They were able to remove a computer chip from her Volkswagen, which was examined by the FBI. They were able to recover raw data, which included, but not limited to, an estimated location of the vehicle on the evening of January 28th and the morning of the 29th. If the Tiguan was taken off-road, the raw data may not show that. The display estimated location on the nearest road. It was placed leaving Colorado Springs Airport just after 1900 hours on January 28th. And that matches the parking receipt. They stopped near King Soopers parking lot for 10 minutes after leaving the airport between 2008 hours and 2018. They reviewed the surveillance footage, which shows them there. The Tiguan show the Tiguan in the area of 105 South Perry Park Road between 21:15 hours and 21:30 hours on January 28th. And they included a map of the data, the raw data. Also indicated the Tiguan stopped for approximately 5 minutes in the area proximate to the recovery of Gannon's blood on February 15th. This is the same area that Leticia likely drove to in her Nissan Altima rental vehicle on January 31st. The area of Gannon's blood in this area is discussed below. This is the map of the Tiguan and the times. Yeah, right, Devil. Wasn't that good? I think he was actually cheating on her at the time. Like, he was with a girl on the night before he flew out. They also were able to compare Leticia's historical cell site information, including Nilo's data, against Tiguan raw data and found no reason to believe Leticia was not the driver of the Tiguan. They conducted several consensually monitored phone calls with Mr. Stauch. These communications have been recorded and memorialized and consist of hours of recorded conversation. I will not provide a transcript, but will summarize the important particular changes in Leticia's story for the purposes of refreshing the court. Here's a summary of Leticia's statements, whether to law enforcement directly through media and or Mr. Stauch in recorded email and voice communications. On January 27th, Gannon left to play at a friend's house and did not come home at 1800 hours like he was supposed to. On January 9th, Leticia stated she was held at gunpoint in RAPED by Eduardo, and Gannon was abducted by him. Within her falsehoods, there are details corroborated by physical evidence that were near impossible to know without being intimately involved in the murder. Leticia has made statements to explain the blood on the walls in Gannon's bedroom, blood on the rear bumper of her Tiguan, and blood in the garage of the Stauch residence. Details of the location of the blood evidence had not been released to the media nor to Leticia and has been closely held throughout this investigation. Furthermore, Leticia has continued to provide alibis for her physical locations not previously disclosed to investigators. She keeps telling on herself, pretty much. Like, she keeps telling them everywhere she was through her alibis and stuff, which is, she told herself about everything. The majority of the conversation between Leticia and Al began on February 13th. Over several days, her story continued to change. During a call on February 13th, she stated that Gannon was burned by a candle to the point that his skin bubbled and that Gannon peeled the burns off and wiped the blood on his bedroom wall. Mr. Stauch did not ask about the blood on the walls of the room during this call. The fact that she provided information about blood on the wall likely indicates her knowledge of the murder scene. On the 14th, Leticia had an additional conversation with Mr. Stauch and provided 4 additional versions of Gannon's disappearance. Story 1. When Epso came to the house on January 27th, the abductor was still in her residence and she tried to signal Epso deputies that there was somebody in the residence. It should be noted that Epso deputies checked the entirety of the house and no additional person was located. Story 2. She was RAPED by a man named Quincy Brown at a residence, and Brown abducted Gannon. She knew Brown's identity because she saw a paper and his identification card fell out of his pocket that had his name on it. She sent a photograph of Quincy Brown to Mr. Stauch via text message. It is noted the photograph mirrored images online wherein Quincy Brown was listed as a most wanted suspect discussed below. Story 3, Quincy Brown followed her from Petco and at some point was laying in the middle of the road in front of her car. When Leticia stopped to avoid running the man over, he jumped into her car and made her take him home, then RAPED'd her. Story 4, Leticia and Gannon were nearby County Line Road, Highway 105 in northern El Paso County on January 27th. Gannon was riding a bicycle in that area and fell and hit his head and was then abducted by Quincy Brown. In this version of events, Quincy Brown was driven by a man named Terrence. February 14th, Story 4 has several interesting considerations. During the period of February 12th to 14th, it was public knowledge by virtue of media coverage that the investigators were searching the area in Highway 105, South Park Perry Road. Leticia brought this location up on her own without prompting conversation and provided an alibi to why she was in that area. She was adamant that investigators to search for Gannon in that area would be futile. The area turned out to be significant based on the Tiguan's location and that Gannon's blood was found in that area, discussed in more detail. Furthermore, as mentioned above, Leticia drove through the same area in her Nissan Altima. Estimate based on new data retrieved from the Tiguan, Leticia was likely in the area on the evening of January 28th, and Gannon's remains were dumped in that vicinity. Yeah, she is crazy. She stated blood in the corner of Gannon's room was a combination of hers and Gannon's. In this explanation, she stated the abductor penetrated her from behind and Gannon with an object. Additionally, she was tied up at some point in the abduction, and the abductor was still present during EPSO visit that night. Quincy Brown, age 37, was listed in El Paso County's most wanted list on February 10th, 2020. I was able to locate Brown's photo on KKTV News. They described him as a black male. It is noted during one of Leticia's stories, she described her RAPIST as a Hispanic male. The photo on the website appears to be the same photo Leticia sent to Mr. Stauch. He has outstanding warrants for failure to appear as a registered SA offender, failure to appear. These warrants have been open since 2018. I was unable to find criminal history for Quincy Brown, which included but not limited to I was able to find an arrest for first-degree kidnapping in El Paso County court case, which was pled to felony menacing. Investigators have uncovered no evidence to support Quincy Brown was involved in Gannon's disappearance. All right, so they were searching for Gannon's remains in that area because of the Tiguan location, and they found a particle board with a blood stain on it that matched Gannon's blood. They believed that she used the piece of particle board to dispose of his remains, probably because she couldn't carry him, so she probably used to like drag it or something, or get it out of the truck or the car, or to get it out of the car, probably. The area was found. It was rural, and it was covered by 6 to 12 inches of snow. Gannon's remains have not been located. At this point, they weren't located, but they were located later in Florida. I guess they wiretapped her stuff. During the other portions of the investigation, she continued to provide different stories to different people. She provided false information to her sister and other family members, during which Leticia provided multiple stories for what happened to Gannon. Several of those stories were discussed above. On February 16th, she told a female believed to be Tila Cummings that she has been giving Alan numerous false stories because she knows he will not believe anything she says. On February 17th, on a call about 13:53 hours, Leticia told a female believed to be associated with Laura Abernathy that she was thinking about flying out to Colorado to take a lie detector test to prove her innocence. During that call, she stated, "They think I'm still in Colorado," which she was in Florida at that time, I think. On another February 17th call, Leticia told an unknown female that she's going to take a lie detector test, but the test is not admissible in court, and no law enforcement will be able to be present. Leticia's attempt at a fake polygraph. On February 18th, a call at about 10:14 hours, Leticia called 321-247-6867 or 6876. I conducted a research on that phone number and learned it was associated with fakepolygraph.com. During that call, Leticia stated she never got a confirmation for her test she paid for Leticia provided the spelling in her name, and before disconnecting the call, the unknown male stated he would resend her the results to her email. I viewed the website, fakepolygraph.com, and found the following information. Get a fully verified fake polygraph test certificate proving you have taken a real polygraph test. You chose the questions, location, and results. We send you a fully verified report within 1 business hour. The fake polygraph results are emailed from a local for real polygraph company. If your partner calls the authentic company or something will confirm the test details, we are sure they will believe you. We have nationwide something polygraph companies in the following countries, blah, blah, blah. Our polygraph reports are 3 to 4 pages and replicate a real report. A local company, branding, contact details are the fake polygraph test report. The polygraph test results are emailed from a real polygraph company. Also, on February 18th, on or about 11:16 hours, Leticia again called that number. During this call, Leticia inquired about the email she received. The unknown male stated that her report was blocked by management based on the content of the questions, and stated that with any illegal activities, they reserve the right to not send the report. Leticia's response was the following. What do you do now? Just delete it and go on about life and keep the money? Mail@fakepolygraph.com. Yes, we do indeed. Leticia, okay, I gotcha. Thank you. Goodbye. Investigators contact Luke Devlin utilizing the phone number that Leticia called. Mr. Devlin provided information to investigators, including the questions and answers that Leticia had provided. Ready for these questions? What an idiot. How stupid can you be? Leticia provided the following questions and the answers that were supposed to be truthful to fakepolygraph.com. A. Do you need to answer the questions regarding your stepson truthfully? Yes. Is your birthday August 4th, 1983? Yes. Did you participate in any way causing harm to your stepson? No. Did your stepson return with you to your home? Yes. Did you participate in any way in causing the death of your stepson? No. I submit to the court that if Leticia had nothing to hide, she would not pay for a fake polygraph test. Yeah, a real fake test. Right? Conclusion. Based on the data collected by the FBI and Journal of Forensic Sciences, I'm going to finish it. Yay! We're at page 30. All right, I'll just finish it out. I learned that over 71% of homicide cases that involve false reporting, the reporting party is responsible for the murder. To be clear, the statistic is not to be provided as sole probable cause for the requested warrant, but as an additional fact to be combined with others listed in the affidavit. Based on Leticia's internet history, it is reasonable to believe that she was unhappily married to Mr. Stauch and had some degree of resentment towards the family as a step-parent. Furthermore, days before Gannon's murder, she appeared to be researching a move to another state to a 2-bedroom apartment. She has not provided a fully truthful statement to investigators at any point during this investigation regarding the circumstances of Gannon's disappearance. This would reasonably be suspected activity of an individual that committed the crime under investigation, namely murder. Within 24 hours of Gannon being reported missing, without external prompt, Leticia made claims to law enforcement that she was being set up. Initially, Leticia said Gannon was playing with a neighborhood friend between 15 hours and 1600 hours and expected home at 1800 hours. Within a few days, Leticia changed her story to label herself as a victim of RAPE, felony menacing with a weapon, and assault, resulting in Gannon's abduction by her RAPIST. Her stories continue to evolve to include a new location of Gannon's disappearance over 30 miles away, several completely different sets of circumstances, and unprompted explanations for why Gannon's blood would be found by investigators in key locations. I know. Thanks, Packless. I'm trying. My throat. I'm getting sick. Everyone in my house is sick, and I'm getting sick. So I guarantee the rest of this weekend I'm not going to be able to talk. Right, Devil? There's good women out there. I promise. Leticia was unable to provide a logical reason why she rented another vehicle while she still had access to the Tiguan. Based on the aforementioned facts, it was likely because it contained the remains of or evidence of Gannon's remain. Based on the positive reactions. Where was I? Oh, there we go. Positive reactions to luminol and the Tiguan on the bumper, indicating the likely presence of blood on the real tailgate. A suspected sample from the interior of the trunk area and returned a negative result for the presumption of blood. Gannon's mattress has a large red stain on it that is consistent with blood. Based on the orientation of the mattress in the room, it appears that is where Gannon's head and upper torso would have been. Below that area, the substance that was confirmed as blood by the Metro Crime Laboratory soaked through the carpet, the pad, and stained the concrete. This blood matches the DNA profile for Gannon. In the same area, blood samples taken from the wall, namely electrical outlet, were also confirmed to match Gannon's DNA profile. Gannon's blood, again matched to his DNA profile, was also found on a piece of particle board in the area of Highway 105 South Perry Park Road in Douglas County, Colorado. The particular area is consistent with Leticia's travels January 28th and January 31st, based on GPS tracker locations of her Nissan Altima rental vehicle and raw data from the Tiguan. During her stories to Mr. Stauch, without prompt, Leticia provided explanations for why blood would be on Gannon's wall, other than Leticia being present for Gannon's murder and being present for the cleaning of the murder scene. There's no reasonable explanation for how Leticia would know there was blood on Gannon's wall, as the evidence had not been released to the media. Again, without prompt, Leticia provided an alibi for why she was in the area where the particle board was covered. By combing cell phone tower data, video surveillance, ADT security systems, investigators based on evidence, the only three individuals with access to Gannon on the afternoon of January 27th were Leticia, Harley, and Lena. With the exception of Lena, who is not considered a suspect, it appears nobody other than Leticia was with Gannon Stauch at the residence between the hours of 14:16 and 17:34 hours on January 27th, when investigators suspected Leticia murdered Gannon. Gannon has been missing for approximately 4 weeks, and there has been national attention on major networks related to his disappearance. Local efforts, including posters, news coverage, search teams, and social media postings, have also failed to locate Gannon. Aerial assets, infrared, FLIR technology, and other extraordinary methods have been deployed to help locate Gannon. Over 200 volunteers have helped search for Gannon, comprising thousands of man-hours in several locations. Additionally, although EPSO has received hundreds of tips, nobody has provided information that has led to Gannon's location. His family and friends have not heard from him, and Gannon is only 11 years old with no financial resources. Leticia was the last person to see Gannon alive. Investigators have not located Gannon's remains at this point. Based on the facts as forth above. Okay, so let me just sit and take this off. We know shortly after that they had found Gannon's remains in Florida. So in a nutshell, what happened was Leticia called up her family, said she wanted to come home, and that Al wasn't letting her sleep there because Landon was at the house. And her brother and her aunt drove all the way out there with a moving truck to drive back with her. They packed all her stuff in a U-Haul truck, and then she drove separately with Harley in the rented Nissan Altima, which we know she used to go pick up Gannon's body at that area. So she dumped his body in that area, then she went and picked it back up. And on the day she did this interview with Spencer, his body was likely in her trunk. Then she drives from Colorado to Florida, and they stop at a hotel in the middle of the night. I'm guessing that while Harley was asleep, she snuck out and disposed of Gannon's body over a bridge. And they had found Gannon's body in a suitcase under that bridge. He was shot, stabbed, and hit with a blunt object and was like in a fetal position in the suitcase. And then she was arrested. They drove her back to Colorado. She attacked the driver on the way back to Colorado. And since then, she has been acting like a complete lunatic and requesting that all these tests be done for her. And it has put off this trial for years. And now, finally, we're at that point, and on March 20th, it is go time. So actually, let me look up if there will be cameras. Let's see. That's a good question. Wow. This is disappointing. It says the case against Leticia Stauch is on track to start late next month in El Paso County, Colorado. During a hearing Thursday, the court received an update where the prosecution and defense are in pretrial preparations. There was no discussion as a potential venue. I think it said there will be no cameras or audio. Oh, okay, here we go. 2 members of the press. So he's only allowing 2 members of the press, 1 print and 1 electronic, will be allowed in the courtroom for jury selection only. Only audio recording will be allowed during this process. As right now, no cameras will be allowed in the courtroom during the trial. So I don't know about the trial, though. They said for the jury. Okay, as of right now, no cameras will be allowed in the courtroom during trial. So no cameras. I think just audio. So that sucks. I'm disappointed. It's going to be like that for Vallow, too, and Orrin and Orson. So we're just going to have to keep up with Twitter and the audio and things like that and keep up with it that way. Hopefully, let me look up Delphi. I want to see if they'll have cameras. Okay, so it says starting May. Wait, when is this trial? I thought it was in the end of March. It says starting May 1st, traditional mainstream media organization can petition courts in the state of Indiana. Is Delphi not in? I swear they said Delphi was in. And maybe it's in June. I just seen the new date for. Let me see. Oh, it's not till June. They set a new date. All right. Well, Delphi is not in March anymore. It says, Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McLeland will have 2 days in June to persuade Special Judge Francis Gold that Richard Allen, the man accused of killing Libby and Abby Williams in 2017, should remain in jail while awaiting trial. With agreement from McLeland and Richard Allen's attorney also vacated Allen's March 20th trial date during Friday's hearing. The new trial date will be set during the June bail hearing. Oh, so we're not getting Delphi. All right, so Delphi's in June now. I know, right? I'm gonna have to do all this audio. They're trying to mess up my whole plan. Well, that's a little better. It brings down our trial list. So it's a little. They're messing up our coverage for sure. For sure. Oh well. And I know Orrin and Orson isn't allowing cameras, just audio. And Vallow isn't allowing cameras, just audio. So the only thing we might get cameras for is the Sarah Boone trial. So we'll see. But I mean, we could. I followed the Morphew trial through Twitter like a crazy person, just like I need Twitter updates. It was like like a psychopath. So I guess we'll have to do it that way. But I'm gonna go because I still haven't eaten my Chinese food yet, and I'm starving. By the way, if you like Chinese food, that like spicy mustard is so good on fried rice. I love it. Just wanted to let y'all know that I'm just putting you on that awesome. I keep thinking about it now, how excited I am to eat that. And also, I am getting sick from all my family members. So if I'm going for like 2 or 3 days, it's because it hit me like a ton of bricks tomorrow. Because I'm not too bad right now, but I can feel it creeping up on me. You could probably hear it in my voice, and my whole house is sick. So I will try and be back, even if I'm sick. But if it hits me really bad, it might be a few days. But I will talk to y'all later. And we got 10 more days till trials, so I'm excited. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat and watch a movie or something. But thank you all for coming, and thanks for sticking around while I read that giant document, which took forever, but it's interesting to say the least. And yeah, we're all caught up for trial now, which I did need a refresher myself because it's been a long time. So I'm super excited for this trial, and I can't wait till we start covering it on the 20th, and I will talk to y'all later. You too, Linda. Have a great night. Bye, Jen. Bye, Abra. Bye, Allie. Bye, Packless. See you, Devil. Sarah. Nina and Mel, if you're still here. Linda. Princess Megan, Elsa. I appreciate you all for coming. Night. Thanks, Packless.